Hello Internet, welcome to episode 4 of Winging It. Before we start, I wanted to let you know that this review is not sponsored in any way. All the gear featured was bought myself, so enjoy. Okay, so I have here a little box from Armattan, and I have my batteries on charge. So let's see what we have inside. We've got some props. I asked for the 6-inch version, not the 5-inch version, so, and I've got a spare motor, bag of goodies, got some lilies, spare arm, and something else in there. What's in there? Oh, the Xperia C in there. Oh. Oh, that looks cool. It's been about half an hour since I unboxed it. It's, I think, ready to fly now. I haven't put the GoPro or anything on it yet, I'm just going to test it as it is. But all I've done is unboxed it, I plugged it into power and bound the DJI transmitter and goggles to it. And then I have plugged it into my laptop and set up arming and horizon mode and air mode on a switch. And that's it. And it should be ready to fly, and I put the props on. So let's see how it goes. I'm a little bit nervous because it's 6S, and the last time I flew a quadcopter it was 3S. So I think it's going to have a lot of go. Hey. Time to try FPV. Well, I'm sad to report the death of the BADGER on only its 3rd flight. I flipped over and came down and crashed and broke off both of the arms. I ordered one spare arm. If I had ordered one more, I would have been fine. But now I'm gonna have to wait. So it's a bit of a bummer. But yeah, I flipped over. And when I was upside down, I accidentally disarmed, and it just tumbled before I could rearm and catch it, because I'm still getting used to the switches. Bummer. Oh well. This is the hobby. Welcome back. It's been about a week since I crashed the BADGER. Since then, I've had a haircut, as you can see. But more importantly, I have fixed the quadcopter. So now that it's all back together in one piece, I put about a dozen flights on it and it's flying really well. I set up some rate profiles and configured my throttle midpoint. And I'm really happy with how it's flying now. And so today I'm going to go to Redcliffe and there's some kite surfers at the beach there, which I'm going to be filming. Should be a good test to see how it performs. I'm a bit anxious, a bit nervous because it'll be flying over the ocean for the first time, but I'm confident it won't let me down. So let's go. Welcome back. I hope you enjoyed the kite surfers. I did. It was a lot of fun following them and filming them. The quadcopter performed really well. I'm really pleased with how it went. I'll go into more detail about my thoughts on it at the end of the video and the pros and cons. But now I'm going to show you a narrated flight, which is unedited, so you can judge the flight performance for yourself. So let's go to the park. So we're in horizon, rate mode 1. And into air mode. So what I really wanted from this quadcopter was like the ability to fly really smoothly, and before I was struggling with that because the throttle control was really difficult, it was really sensitive, but this feels a lot better. Let's see if I can go through here. Yes. That's so much better. I have so much control. Oh, I forgot I'm in air mode. Let's go back to horizon for this close stuff. Oh, look at this. This is just so much better and so smooth. Just like pick my way through here like easy. I think I might need to drop the throttle mid a little bit. It feels like I'm riding on the edge of the expo band there. But it's way better. Yeah, boy. Look at this tree. Yeah, because what I wanted to be able to do with this thing, with this quad, is both fly fast. Actually, I can't talk and also fly. I'm going to be terrible at this because I can't talk and fly at the same time. I wanted to be able to fly, you know, smooth and slow and close to things, like, you know, to get those like really cool super view, you know, ultra wide angle shots when you like going through here. Like this will look awesome in the GoPro because everything's like peeling away around the camera. So I wanted to be able to do that, and I wanted to be able to fly fast. Like, that's going to look sick on the GoPro. Because, you know, I want to chase stuff. I want to chase, like, you know, cars and bikes and boats and whatever else, you know, like motorsport. Anything that goes fast, I want to be able to chase it. And so this is really good so far. The fact that it's able to, like, and it gets pretty good flight times, like, you know, 7 minutes of you know, hovering around, and this is kind of flying. Probably 6 minutes of going fast, and maybe like 4 minutes of going really fast. I haven't actually tried that yet. And the key thing with doing this kind of flying is you have to have an adjustable camera. Because if your camera is at like a 30-degree angle, like most mini quads are, then, you know, right now the camera would just be pointing up at the sky. It'd be pointless. So you need to be able to quickly adjust the camera angle, and that's what the Badger has. And there was no other quad that I found that did that was able to quickly adjust the camera angle. Oh, this is like so good. Look at this, I'm just picking my way through this tree like it's not even, like it's a mini whoop or something. And this is a 6-inch quad. It's so stable. I mean, hey, you know, maybe this is normal these days. You know, maybe I'm amazed by this because I've been out of the hobby, like the mini quad scene, for like 5 years. But to me, this seems to be pretty awesome. And like I said, that adjustable camera mount, that's what makes it. Because without that, every time, you know, if you wanted to do shots like this, and then, you know, like just land and then do something else, you'd have to, like, I don't know, I guess you could have swappable camera mounts, like TPU swappable camera mounts, but that's gonna suck. You know, this one with the Badger, it's like, what, 3 bolts? You just loosen 3 bolts, and then you can adjust the camera mount, and you can make it whatever you want. It's not limited to like certain angles. You can just be like, oh yeah, now I want, you know, 12 degrees because I know that's exactly what I want. Look at this. This is just so good. Anyway, so yeah, so now I've got these different rates. This will be good because I've got this rate for like smooth, slow, cinematic stuff like this. Nice big throttle band. Well, it's not that big. I think I set it to like 15% throttle midpoint. I know it looks cool when you fly close to stuff and you can see the shadow of the quad. Oh, there it is. Yeah. Whoop. Oh, almost hit that twig. Yeah, like, so I got this particular setting for this kind of flying, and then if I switch to the next one up, look at that. So the midpoint is way different because I'm expecting I'm going to be flying faster, right? So let's try going fast. I haven't got that many milliamps left, but yeah, that's probably like 50k an hour. On about 14 amps. And let's try the highest one. Oh yeah, that's 20 amps. Drop it back down. And those higher settings also have more aggressive roll and pitch rates as well. So I think most of the time I'll probably just fly in this first mode because the kind of flying I like to do is not like just outright speed. It's more like proximity stuff. I don't, well, I don't, at the moment I don't do any freestyle. Like I've never really been that into like flips and rolls and stuff, because I just find it to not be that cinematically nice to look at. Like, you know, the only people who watch videos of quads flipping around is other quad pilots in my mind, which is fine, you know, if you like that. Where's my, I lost my horizon. Oh, there it is. Let's bring it in. Nice. That was sick. Very pleased with that. Okay, welcome back to the mess desk. I will now take you through some of the pros and cons that I've found with the quadcopter over the past 2 weeks that I've owned it. Let's start with the negatives. So this is the 6-inch version. It has the 6-inch arms and 6-inch propellers. And what I noticed is in the GoPro footage, when you're on super view, you can see in the lower left and right corners of the screen a little bit of propeller. It's only just barely there, and if you shoot in 2.7K and then crop to 1080p, you can crop it out. I also think if you had an ND filter, you probably wouldn't see it because the motion blur would eliminate it. But you probably notice in some of the shots that I've shown you today, there's a little bit of propeller blur in the corners at certain shutter rates and things like that. So I think if you had the 5-inch version, or even if you ran 5-inch props on the 6-inch version, you probably wouldn't see that, or if you don't use super view on the GoPro. It's just something to keep in mind. I think if you angle the camera at a more aggressive angle, well, when it's at its most neutral angle, you'll see those props, but when you angle it up when you're flying forward, you won't be able to see it at that point. So the included battery strap is 220 millimeters, thereabouts, and it's just a bit too short for 6-cell, or at least for my 6-cell batteries. I think it would be better if it was about 240 or 250 mil. So just keep that in mind. You'll probably need to get a bigger battery strap. The other thing is that some of the positioning for the battery strap is not ideal. The top plate has these divots in and out of it to try and grab the battery strap better. But if you want to have the battery right at the back, like I do here, then the divots don't line up with where you want to have the battery straps. So it'd be good if they just had the top plate be completely smooth, and then you could put the battery straps wherever you wanted. You wouldn't have to put them where they've defined they should be. Since this is a bind and fly, I think it'd be great if Armattan offered some 3D printed parts as part of the purchase, because I think it needs those 3D printed parts to reach its potential. For example, you can't mount a GoPro without a 3D printed GoPro mount. It doesn't include one. So if you don't have a 3D printer, you know, make sure that you have a source where you can get these parts printed. I know there's sources in America like Brain 3D, but if you have a friend who can print you these parts, then that's not a problem. But it'd be good if you could check a box when you're buying this to say, yep, give me a full set of 3D printed parts, things like the antenna mount at the back here, and the skids on the bottom as well. You could just get a set of them for a few dollars, and then it's one less thing you have to make yourself or buy separately. Lastly, I've found it a little bit difficult to get parts for the Badger. I don't know if it's just because it's fairly new. I am in Australia as well, and the company that makes, Armattan is an American company. So I've noticed that, for example, the TOA motors that are on this quadcopter, I've struggled to get replacements for. There's only 1 or 2 places that you can buy them from. So if you're just buying the frame and you're building it yourself and putting your own motors and ESCs on it, that's not a problem. But if you're buying the bind and fly kit like I did, just keep in mind you might want to get a couple spares when you buy it, so that way then you're not waiting a long time for spare parts. Armattan themselves have pretty good shipping. I think it only took a few days to come from America. I think it was about 5 or 6 days to come from America for me. So that's good, but if they're out of stock, you may struggle to get parts elsewhere. Do some research before you buy to see what's available near you, I guess. So let's talk about the positives. As a bind and fly quadcopter, this has been an excellent experience for me. I've been out of the quadcopter game for a few years. I know about drones, I know about transmitters and receivers. I know about, I know how they work, but the detail of beta flight and tuning and what ESCs to get with what mode, to get with what battery, to get with what prop, all that stuff, it's kind of lost on me. I'm not up to speed with all that at the moment. So I really wanted something where I could just buy it and have it work out of the box without having to have an in-depth knowledge of the correct configuration of parts to get. And this has been great for that. It came out of the box pre-configured with a few different rate profiles. It flies really nicely. I haven't done any tuning on it in any of the videos you've seen. All I've done is put the rate profiles on the switch. I adjusted the throttle midpoint a little bit to get it a bit wider to get some better hover angles. But yeah, it's been a great experience. The big draw card for me with the BADGER was the adjustable camera mount. The fact that I can adjust the camera with 2 or 3 bolts, just loosen some bolts and adjust it and get it to any angle that I wanted, that's the thing that made me get the BADGER over any other quadcopter when I was researching it. And the fact that you can have independent FPV cam angle to the GoPro angle is handy too. When I was filming the KITESURFERS that you saw before, each flight I would land and adjust the camera angle, and then by the 3rd flight I had it perfectly right, where I was able to fly into the wind at the right angle and keep the GoPro and the FPV cam pointed exactly where I wanted. So each time I got better and better shots because I was able to adjust this on the fly. Flight times with the BADGER are also good. With the 6-inch props and the 6-inch arms, I'm running a 1300 milliamp 6-cell battery. I get about 7 minutes, 7.5 minutes of gentle flight. When I was chasing the windsurfers, I was getting about 6 minutes still, so it's still very respectable. I think that for me, doing cinematography and videography with this, if you have anything less than sort of 4 minutes, I think that's too little a time to be able to get up in the air, go and like line up a shot, get the shot, and then come back. So I'm really pleased with the flight times. I think if you had the 5-inch props, you probably have a bit less. Or the 5-inch arms and props, you have a bit less. But I think that the 1300 milliamp battery is a good sweet spot too. It doesn't feel too heavy, it doesn't feel underpowered. But yeah, the flight times are big. I was really pleased with the flight times getting out of this. And lastly, the warranty and the support. So before I bought this, I sent probably 10 or 15 emails to the Armattan team, and they were very helpful, very responsive. They always replied within a day or two to my emails, and they went above and beyond to answer my questions, which were everything from, how much flight time will I get to, can it carry this? What do I need to do that? What battery do you suggest? How fast will it go? All these sorts of questions, which can be really vague and can kind of be like, well, it depends, is the answers. They actually took the time to go into detail and answer those questions as best they could. And I was really satisfied with all their responses. It gave me a lot of confidence when I was buying the product, because I knew that I would have this good support to call on if I had problems. And the warranty is really good too. So when I broke the BADGER arms in my unexpected crash, I wrote to Armattan and I sent them a couple of pictures, and they gave me credit on the store for replacement arms. So thanks guys, appreciate that. Even though it was my mistake, they still honor the warranty. So great warranty with this frame, and the quality and fit and finish of everything I've been very pleased with. So that wraps up my review of the Armattan BADGER. I hope you enjoyed. If you have any questions, post them in the comment below. I'll post all the details of the frame and everything, all the equipment that I use and everything in the description. But if you have any questions, do ask. If you like this video, give it a thumbs up. If you want to see more like this, subscribe, because I will definitely be doing more videos with the BADGER now that I have it in my fleet. Looking forward to doing more action sports style stuff like I did with the KITESURFERS. So keep tuned on this channel, and we'll see you again next time. I am recording, aren't I? Yes. that'll go in the outtakes. Ooh, okay. It's armed. It's armed. Go away, fly. Okay, it seems very angry.